listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network. Now the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Miriam Gonzalez and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Girls After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Girls After Show.
What's up, everybody? Hello, my name is Kelly, and we are back with another Girls AfterBuzz show because Bing is for doing, and that's what we do here, is we buzz about the cool shows. So we are here with Season 1, Episode 5, and it's hard being easy, or is it? It's you know, this episode was telling us all about that.
It all depends. That was just the easy part, I think.
So we've got a newbie in the house with us today doing his very first podcast.
Yay!
So everyone say hello.
We're popping his cherry.
Which tonight's episode was perfect since it was all about, you know.
Cherry popping.
All that
Good stuff.
So say hello. Tell everyone your name.
Hi, everybody. The podcasting verse. I'm Andrew Gutin.
And, of course, my lovely ladies.
Hi, I'm Miriam. And I'm Spicy Marty.
And don't forget, you guys can catch us on iTunes. So please, please, please download us and leave us your comments because, you know, there's a lot of controversy and stuff surrounding this show. A lot of people don't get it. A lot of people love it. And that's kind of what we're going to get into tonight also as we talk about all the sex and craziness that was going on in tonight's episode. So, Miriam, why don't you get us back into kind of what happened last week and catch us up a little bit?
Okay, so on a quick note, last week, Adam, of course, has his band, which we learned that he was having some songwriting problems, and the girls were not in their apartment, and so they go as far, his friend, who apparently this episode is more in love with him than his girlfriend, goes and snoops through Hannah's room, and which is why the episode was called Hannah's Diary, where he goes and divulges all this information that he had no idea about when it came to Marnie and his relationship and how she truly, truly felt. Yeah, and so a lot of tonight's episode has to kind of revolve around Hannah's Diary, which that's what we opened up with tonight, was him forcing her to read because he wanted to hear it in her voice. I want to hear it in your voice, what you wrote. And so, yeah, tonight was, yeah.
Well, I think my favorite part about that whole thing is that she wanted critique as a writer. She didn't want it to be called journal. She felt it was a notebook full of story ideas.
She's writing her memoirs, don't forget.
She is, but unfortunately the thing is they're supposed to be her memoirs, except they're not anything about her. They're all about Marnie, which is where the conflict comes into play, that Marnie is now like, why are you writing about me?
Right, but it forces her to have that conversation with Charlie that she just absolutely doesn't want to have.
Who wants to have that conversation?
Well, nobody does. And, you know, and still she thinks that she wants to get back together and she doesn't want to break up and she still doesn't want to face the conversations that she has had with Hannah. And Hannah even says, you know, it's true. Everything that I wrote is true.
Right.
Because, you know, Marnie says all that stuff that you wrote was mean. She's like, well, but it was true. So it's kind of she's forcing her friend to kind of, you know.
It's also kind of that oblivious moment for her. I mean, it seems like in a couple episodes now she's had those moments where it's like, did you just say that? Like the job interview where she just starts making date rape jokes. It's like, you had the job. Stop. And in this one, it's like, someone is telling you you have massively screwed up. You have just written a song about how your friend's boyfriend has a vagina.
Right.
There's nothing you can say to make that okay.
I don't think any man can handle the fact if someone's calling them a mangina for the most part.
No. Well, Hannah just, and it goes back.
I could deal with it, I guess.
But he wasn't even mad at Hannah, like, whatsoever. I think that he is more upset that his girlfriend doesn't really like him. He wasn't really being insulted by the remarks that she wrote in there.
He was mad that he was being lied to. I think more so that he was mad that Marnie's not talking to him, I think, is the thing. Is because deep down, I mean, Charlie is a really nice guy, but, you know, and one thing that we learned is he was abandoned abandoned by his dad. That's one thing that comes out. So he has all those crazy abandonment issues, which is why he smothers with love.
Yeah.
Why did he have to divulge that during sex? We'll get to that in a second.
That's not a sexy topic to talk about when you're
That's not how you pillow
doing
talk?
the deed.
No?
That's not hot pillow
I've
talk.
been doing it wrong.
I'm sorry, when there's a connection, there is none of that to be discussed.
No. Stay close to my face. No. No.
Well, tonight's episode had a lot of really great transitions.
Well, we see a lot of the characters kind of downsides in this episode, I think. And maybe downside is not the right word, but kind of where they need help me out. Like, what's the word that I'm thinking? Maybe like the side where they need the most help, where like where they need to grow a little more. Like those aspects of those sides. Like you see Hannah where she doesn't think things through. She's she's silly. She's so immature in those senses where she just doesn't get it. She doesn't in any sense of anything that she did in this episode tonight. She just doesn't get it.
Oh no.
She thinks she has a boyfriend when she doesn't. She's trying to, everything that she does at work, like all of these things. She just doesn't get it.
My favorite is that, she's at work and instead of, brushing it under the rug like the rest of her fellow employees do, she decides to take it on head on. She's like, all right, fine. You want to do this? Let's do this.
And that's what I'm wondering. So was she trying to do reverse psychology in that situation? Was she really about to ravish her boss? What was her angle in that moment?
Well, if you remember, Jessa was telling her, hey, go for it. Why not? And I think but that's where Hannah's mentality is she takes it all so literally. Because she's like, do it for the story. So she's like, okay. She's like, perfect. Why not? So she goes and does it for the story.
Although I'll say that just felt weird to me, though, also because, like, she seemed so incredulous when Jessa said that. Like, it's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then she says story, and it's like, that's really what convinced you. Like, I don't know what it is about Jessa. I mean, maybe we'll get into this later, but it seems like other people just, like, cannot resist things she says or does. And I don't get that. It's like, yeah, he wants to do me. And then they're having sex the next scene. There's no transition to that. Like, is she really that irresistible?
Jess is very confident. And her confidence, when she puts it out there, it's like, I'm sorry, I get everyone and anyone that I want, and there's no in my vocabulary. And so that's the kind of thing that she has going on, and people
sounds like
admire
Ted Bundy
that. Right? It almost is. When you have a woman that's that sexual, it's almost like I want to know the background story behind Jessa to why she is the way that she is. Where her parents
and she's very charismatic. She has a pull about her. Because, I mean, she
owns her sexuality.
She does, and she just is very captivating, and I think it's very easy to get lost in her kind of little area with anybody, that's what she does.
I think he knew what he was doing, though, when he told her she couldn't have any. Because she is so used to getting what she wants, I think he was saying exactly what she needed to hear in order to get in her pants. When a man resists you, that makes you want him even more. So I think in this situation, he really was trying to pretend like he didn't want her, but he really wanted her. Yeah, the ex-boyfriend.
I don't know, but I think, but knowing her and the way that her character is, at least from my perspective, I think that there would be no need to try to resist her. She's easy. Why would he need to try that? She's going to do it anyway. She had every intention to sleep with him when she was going to meet him. Why else would she go?
But it wouldn't have been that hateful, angry sex.
No.
And that goes back to that passion.
It goes back to the point with, like, Hannah. Hannah's very impressionable, and Hannah is also she's a follower of Jessa.
Naive.
And so when Jessa gives her pretty much the chutzpah, is that the best? I'm like, the balls to like go to her boss and do this. She's just like, I'm just gonna go and do it full Monty, as Jessa would do it.
Does it?
She's
very
just like,
unsexy.
Very unsexy.
I mean, I'm sorry, the dress was a little too small for her in this episode.
But it wasn't even. But no. But it was like a teenager's dress.
Yes.
It wasn't even like.
You're talking about the
more
big
like
one
a
that
tween.
like poofed out with the.
It was a tween.
It was
dress.
a tween dress.
She wasn't even a teenager yet. She was a tween.
And it's like, it's not okay. She's like, I know you want to F me, so hey. At first I thought it was repulsive, but now I'm kind of into it. So let's just do it before I change my mind. How? In what world is that sexy?
And then he rejects her, though.
The hand on the boob, and he laughs.
Because he says, you're gross and I'm gross. And
She said that to him.
She says that to him.
Right.
You're gross
like,
and I'm gross.
Insult.
I gotta say, I like that. I mean, that is a great approach. It has about the same kind of effectiveness as the guy at a truck stop going, "Hey, honey, how you doing? you want me right now? I know you want it."
Or talking about
Like,
your
what the
dad
hell?
during sex. It's the same thing.
It's like, you're gross, I'm gross, let's do this.
But she always says the wrong
Works every
thing when
time.
she's in those moments.
Well, she even called it out. She's like, not only am I trying to get you for sexual harassment, I've sexually harassed you, and now I've extorted you. She's like,
well, and I threatened to sue you.
Right.
write me a check for $1,000.
She is.
She's also
so
bad at
naive.
extortion too.
I would have went for way more than $1,000.
I don't understand why she decided to quit at the end.
Because she's dumb. She's just
She
not.
has a job where she's not required to do much, and then you were gonna have sex with him. He rejects you, and then you quit. Was
And
she
he
quitting
tells
because
you
of
not
the
to-
rejection or because of the sexual harassment.
She's just
No.
quitting because she's just quitting because her plan didn't work. She's quitting because now there's no story. So what's next? She's just quitting because there's nothing left.
So now she has to go explore, find another
Well,
story.
and she thinks she's got a boyfriend.
Oh gosh.
First of all, I'm sorry, ladies.
Unless he gives
And
you the title.
Andrew. Exactly. There is no title until you have that talk, and sometimes that talk takes a really long time to get to. But her justification on why they're now boyfriend and girlfriend. I was upset and he heard my words and he held my face and then he kissed me. Girl.
So we're pretty much boyfriend and girlfriend.
No, you're not.
That's how all the best relationships start.
No, that's how the most disgusting, passionate relationships start, and very quickly right after that.
I love Jessa's quote after that. She said, well, guys like that will try anything once.
Right. What did that? Was she just
She
being
was
a
right.
jerk? Or
No.
was she like
She
saying
was-
that he was trying? Like, what was he? What did she mean by that?
I took it as that she was like, she was surprised by that and was like, well, hey,
'cause she
even
knows
somebody
he's a
like
jerk.
that
Okay.
will at least try something like that once.
I think Jessa said that because she's heard that before. I mean, how many times, ladies, in the heat of passion, have you heard a guy say something you're like, did he just say that? Wait, did he just say I love you?
Yeah.
Did he say he wants me to meet his mama?
Yeah.
Again, that is weird pillow talk.
But that's the thing. What happens when you've got like a sexual thing going on, especially that young and that impressionable, like the littlest thing during that coming moment.
The climactic moment.
Climactic. Thanks for bringing KP back. In that climactic moment, a lot of things are said that sometimes really aren't really meant to be true. It's like
I don't even think he misled her. He didn't tell her anything.
He just kissed her because she was sad.
They just had some doing it. Like they didn't. It wasn't anything. I would say special or extraordinary.
Here's the thing. When you're a 22, 23-year-old guy, you've got a girl standing in front of you crying, even though you're a douche, it just shows he's not that much of an ass. I mean, he is, but he isn't. He still has a heart buried in there somewhere. He felt bad.
No, he
So
was
he didn't want
100% advantage of the situation.
Well, I mean,
I do
yeah,
not believe that.
he did not
I
sincerely
don't know.
try to make her feel better.
No, he wasn't trying to make her feel better, but he wasn't just gonna. He didn't just slam the door in her face.
Andrew,
has
what do you
before.
you know?
He
Andrew, what do
would.
you think it was all about?
As the male in the room, and a poor example at that. I honestly think he's just the weirdest, like, submissiveness thing going. I mean, at the end of this episode, he had the, like, hey, you want to step on my balls? Like, really? I mean, first of all, Kim, hell out of nowhere. But it's like, she's just yelling at him, telling him he sucks, he's awful, he doesn't treat her right. And he's like, I want to have sex. Like, this is not a guy with a heart. I think it's just, like, she finally hit on the thing that gets him
Right.
going.
The rejection thing.
When prior, I mean, all it had been like dominance for him. And it's like, he didn't just want to have sex with her. He wanted to degrade her. And then like she kind of came back and was like, this works for me. And I don't see heart there. I just see kind of a really manipulative douche. I mean, he had her stand there for, what was it supposed to be like? Probably at least a few long minutes while his jacket.
10
It was a
minutes
good
in
like a
TV
10-minute
time.
thing.
In TV world.
But what is that?
That is not something anybody wants to
the
watch.
worst part about it for me though too is that she stands there and does it. Because
Well,
that's the thing is like
She likes him. That's
and,
why.
Yeah, and
But-
her self-esteem has to be low to be messing with somebody like Adam. So she's going to take what she can get.
but it's so ridiculous. It's just like, I mean, come on now, girls. You walk into an, I mean, I don't know. Even
thought
back
it was
when
hot.
Well, you know what? I'll say this.
Yes.
It was hot.
I thought that was hot.
Seriously?
I'm sorry. Sometimes I like to
Seriously?
watch.
Yeah, me too.
But in that sense,
There's
where
something
he,
sexy about it.
Yeah.
but
Really?
in that
they say the
sense,
freakiest
What
people
about-
are
what about
watchers.
that?
wait, no. In that situation, explain this to me.
I will say this. So Hannah gets there. He gives her the full reality check. Like, hey, by the way, no, we're not boyfriend, girlfriend.
And sometimes
no,
you
I'm not
say ish
interested.
that sounds made up.
Yeah.
Like, he just insulted her left and right.
He insults her left and right, and then she has that moment. She goes to the bathroom, and you obviously see there's no toilet paper. Poor thing. It's just like sitting there, empty roll. And I'm like,
That is a detail I was not noticing.
I noticed that too. I noticed that too.
ladies, we noticed a lot of details. And so she's sitting there, and she has that reality bites moment, and she's like,
Yeah.
man, I am not as fabulous as Jessa. I just came on to my boss and quit my job and tried to extort him for $1,000
And got rejected by a 100-year-old man.
And then, yeah, right. And then now here I am at my who I thought was my boyfriend for 2 seconds, and he's pretty much breaking my heart. And then she comes out of the bathroom, and she's like, "All right, I'm gonna leave now. I'm gonna leave." And he's nowhere to be found except laying pretty much handling his junk. And you know, for as much as Hannah doesn't get things, she doesn't get how to be in a professional environment. She doesn't get how to survive. She got it.
Yeah.
She was like, you know what? He is turned on by me being a biatch or by me being dominating to him, because his whole thing is being dominating on her. And now she's turned the tables. She's like, no, I do not accept that. I will not do this.
It took her a minute to get it, because
Yeah.
at first she's like, do you not realize that I'm still here? Do you know I'm leaving now? Do you not know that I'm still here? I don't know. And then he's like, no, I know
It was
that you're
awkward
here.
for her at first.
You know,
was.
but that's the part of it that I don't understand how you think that that's hot.
It was awkward, and
No.
then she owned it.
It's
No,
not the
I get
fact-
that, but like, how can you think that situation's hot?
Well, I'll say this.
He starts doing that. He knows that she's there. She's like, hello, who's here? Who's here?
What makes it hot
It's
is
like-
is when you like a guy and you're turned down by a guy and he goes and does something like that to get your attention, it's very like, what else can I get him to do?
I thought it was hot because it was just freaky. Like, it was just like
This is the freak side of the table.
Yeah, I just was like, ooh, she's
This side of the table was
watching.
learning.
Like, but they say the freakiest people are the ones that watch and don't participate. And so when you're just an audience watching, it's almost like watching porn, but you know the person. So it made it more intense and hot. And then she got to talk back to him, and she doesn't really have a strong personality. So now she's owning it, and then she's getting money also. So now it's a little prostitution going on.
I mean,
And she's
I get it.
bossing
Like
him
when it
around.
gets to that point, like I can see where it could be hot in that sense. But like getting up to there, it was just so bad. So it's like one of those things where it's like you don't have to get disrespected and treated so bad to get to the hot point. That's what I don't get. That's what I don't like about it. Is because you don't, especially when you're that young and vulnerable and you like somebody. That's what I don't like about how that shows that. Is that you have to, you know, he's like, why are you here? Why are you touching me? We talked about this yesterday. And then like I see all of those points, but it's the example that it sets for when you know, for the
My
the
hand
youngins.
is raised.
I know, I'm like jumping in my seat.
Anyone else know?
Pick me. Okay, so do you remember last episode we were saying the cat and mouse chase, the cat and mouse chase? It's the same thing with every single person's relationship. The moment that you act as if you don't want somebody, it makes them want you all the more. Not maybe because they really want you, but just the thought of possibly losing you or not having you, or the rejection factor, or how dare you not want me. So when Hannah owned it and she went over there to break up with him, supposedly break up with somebody she wasn't with, last episode, it turned him on. Well, this time he flipped the exact same switch. He was like, oh, you don't want me, so I'm going to act like it's over between us. And then she's fighting for the relationship now. And then he rejects her. And then it turns him on. So it's just a cat and mouse chase. The
But
rejection
she didn't
turning
fight
each
for the
other on.
relationship.
See,
She just said she was going to leave. So there wasn't
But
that.
she was like, I don't want that though. I want to, like, she was trying to tell him that she wanted to be together.
yeah,
say
but
this.
I don't know.
Women, unfortunately, and I know that I have been guilty of this in my 20s. Now that I'm in my 30s, I am not that stupid, kids. But in my 20s, you know, and that's how young they are. They're very impressionable. They don't know any better. And you get us into a situation where you like this person and you almost
No, you start to compromise
Right.
who you are, what your beliefs are, and what everything your friends are telling you not to do, you're doing it anyway. You're like, okay, so if it means that I have to dominate him and watch him pretty much handle his junk, then I'm going to do that because I like him and I want him to like me back.
Right.
And
Right, but that's the part that I like. I understand that, but the part that I don't is like the leading up to that. That it was so, because like her walking out of the bathroom and walking in and seeing it is one thing, but the walking around and can't find him and him being like, no, I know you're here, and just like. It was just, she basically has to stand there like a moron for 10 minutes until she gets
she's
it.
been a moron
and then
the
it's
entire
like,
time.
no, I know. That's the part that's like not hot. Like, I don't get how that's hot.
Adam's
and then by the
character has
time
not
you
changed.
wait, like I don't know. I wouldn't stand there long enough to wait for it to get hot. You know what I mean?
But
I
you
don't
wouldn't
know.
let Adam do all the 10 million other rude crap things that he's done to her. Like, he, from the beginning, his character has not changed.
I
He's been
mean,
a
back
douche since day one.
in my early days, I can see how some of those.
You've never stepped on
that
anybody's
partic-
balls. Come on now.
Maybe.
I'm just playing.
All right, so with that being said, Andrew, how do you interpret?
First of all, I'm loving this. Just ladies, the ladies
We get
round,
passionate.
the ladies round table on masturbation. That's been great.
doesn't get
Can we
any
do
more
a show
real
about
than
that?
this.
Just ladies, what are your thoughts about guys jacking it?
Like, I'm not
S&Ming
I'm not
over here.
against
This is women's
watching it.
rights
I
movement
just
over there.
no, I'm not saying I'm not against all of that, but
so,
whatever.
So Andrew, how do you look at this as a writer and interpret this situation? Like,
Well, I mean, like I said earlier, I think that there's a weird obliviousness to Hannah. That to me explains a little bit why she kind of stands there. I mean, she sees everything as a story, but there's just that obliviousness to her that says, yeah, she'd just stand there for a couple minutes, not really even thinking about it, just watching the guy jack off. And him, I mean, he I think that might be what attracts her to him, is that he is even more oblivious than she is. That he is in a
Crazy loves crazy.
freaking bizarre world. I mean, my assessment of Adam as a character is he's the kind of guy who is cutting up bodies and putting them in the fridge. I'm sorry, she walks in on him and he's got a blowtorch.
Well,
like,
she
I'm
would
just like,
help
what
if
the-
it made for a good story.
Yeah, she would stay.
An
and be like,
hour ago,
"No, it's
she was
okay,
about
take
to
out
do
the-"
her boss.
Yeah.
So obviously, it's not an integrity thing that Hannah has going on. She's
That-
not.
that is not a
There's
word
nothing
in
beneath
her story.
Yeah.
I mean, does she talk to her parents? I mean, does she getting advice from them?
No.
Like
I mean,
she
her
should have
dad's gay,
spent.
according to Adam.
She should have
That's
spent.
one I got.
Yeah.
So that was bugging me this episode from when it first came in. The last time we left her with the gay ex-boyfriend, weren't they like at odds with each other? Like,
Yes.
Yes.
What the hell happened that I missed or something? That like now they're like BFFs, they're having a good time. It's
No,
like,
that was
That was a
memory.
flashback.
oh, that was a flashback.
That was
a
how
flashback.
Charlie.
I totally
Alright,
missed
Yes,
that.
how Charlie and Marnie
So-
met.
Yes.
How they hooked up for the first time.
I
Yes.
heard Charlie and I was like, no, that's a different Charlie. And like
No,
totally
it was a
did not.
flashback. That
She was
a
on a
flashback.
weed brownie
I
and was
must have
stuck
been-
to the pole because she was
Must
nervous
have
and
been
scared.
taking
Yes.
notes. This is why
Okay,
I
so
don't take notes during
Before we
shows.
get into the whole Marnie and Charlie dynamic, which is a really great thing.
Before we go into
Wait,
that,
what?
I'm sorry, I like had a brain fart.
Oh, it's okay.
I'm like,
Okay, well, like I was saying, today is Mother's Day. So, unfortunately, my mom wasn't here, so I just got to post embarrassing pictures of her all over Facebook and make her mad. So, but your mom has a book that everybody can check out. So,
Yeah, my mom is actually a First Lady's historian. She's actually written 2 books, one of which I know is available on Amazon. And if you go to AfterBuzz TV and click the Amazon banner, we got a little kickback from that. And you can look up The President's Partner by Dr. Myra Gutin. It's pretty awesome.
Cool.
President's partner. It sounds very sexual.
First Ladies from Martha MF in Washington all the way up to Hillary Clinton. You know you want it.
Ooh.
So mom was a writer. Now
So
you're
girls,
a writer.
first ladies,
That's pretty
come on.
cool.
It goes hand in hand.
Mom is a college professor and a writer. My sister is a TV writer, and I am an aspiring TV writer.
So you're kind of like Hannah in a way from Girls in a little bit.
Do
you
not
know?
say
Like,
that.
do you have a journal at home? A diary?
It's a notebook.
It is a
stories.
catalog of my adventures.
I like that. A catalog of your adventures.
Yeah, that's cute.
Wonderful.
So go to Amazon. If you go to AfterBuzzTV.com and click on the Amazon banner, you can definitely catch this book.
Support the Gutin family.
Yes. So Marnie and Charlie now. It's funny because last week I predicted, I thought that she was going to, go the opposite direction to where she went. And I found it very interesting. Now, they've been together, what, 4 or 5 years?
I think so, since college.
And she's never seen his
what I thought,
place.
She's self-involved and selfish in the relationship.
Yeah.
Maybe he got like a new place or something since, but like I don't think so. I'm thinking the way you are that like literally she has never even tried to go to this place.
I'm sorry. I'd want to see my man's place. Like, what's your junk? What are you brushing your teeth with?
Right.
Do you mouth? Do you floss?
Do you floss? Oh my God, it's so sexy when a guy
Do
flosses.
you,
so
do you
too.
wash your
So
clothes?
we've got
Do you hang them up?
masturbating and we've got floss. So really, you are on fire
If you
tonight.
floss and masturbate at the same time, oh,
That
that
is-
is so
How would you negotiate that? Like, I mean, you could floss
That's
him while he
multitasking.
masturbates.
There you go.
Get
We
a
have found the new form of porn.
Like, get it.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah,
so
throw down
back
there
to
while you
Charlie's
straighten his-
apartment.
So they're in Charlie's apartment, and she's fascinated.
IKEA studio.
Yeah, she's fascinated. She's like, "Oh my God, this looks like a Target ad."
Is that a compliment, by the way?
I
Say
think
it
that's
looks like
kind
Target?
no, I think that's kind of an insult, actually.
No, if
like,
you
wow,
said
your
it
shit
looked
looks really
like,
generic.
I mean, what's a higher end furniture store? It looks more like Jennifer's Convertibles. That I'd be like, okay, but
Yeah, or like Urban Home or something,
Yeah.
but not Target.
Yeah, your stuff looks like random generic crap.
Well, especially because he made it, right? Because he's a,
He
you know,
did.
he does all that carpentry, so he made all that stuff.
Well, it looks like it's an ad, and so I would take that as a compliment. Like, it looks so perfect.
it's professional.
Yeah, and I think that's what she was kind of going for. But the fact that she'd never been there before, and then he says, you know, I've asked you repeatedly, and she's like, no, you haven't. She doesn't even hear him when he talks.
No, she does not.
She does
She's
not
just
like
so
that
all
boy.
about herself.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in the first episode, she says that like getting touched by him is like getting touched by your creepy uncle. So
Yes.
she's dating a guy who makes her feel like she's having an incident of pedophilia.
And he hasn't forced her
Incestuous
to take any
pedophilia.
responsibility or work in the relationship whatsoever. So if she doesn't have to use any gas or cab fare in order to go over there, she's not the type of person to do that if he's always going to come to her, which he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not going to go out of her way to do anything for this poor guy, and it's really sad.
Well, in this episode, she starts to go out of her way. She starts begging him, "Don't break up with me, don't break up with me." And
Cat
he's
and
like,
mouse chase.
he's like, "You know what? You're not in love with me." And that's a hard pill to swallow when you're in a relationship and you're with someone and the feeling is no longer there and you don't want to admit it. I mean, there's so many red flags, and she's now put in this position, and he's like, "I don't even care anymore."
I,
Like,
you
I
know,
don't
I
care
have
if
a
I'm
lot
in
of
love with you or
respect for
not.
his character to be able to sit in her face and just tell her that. Like,
That's why
you
he's
don't
a character,
love me.
and it ain't for
It's
real.
not for real.
Well, he tried to be strong and tell her, no, I'm going to choose me instead, which he was doing. But then, like the human person that he was,
right, of course.
he fell for it. And all of us have been in that situation before. I have. Where you're like, I'm not going to take you back. And then you take them back. And then it's like, damn it, I know I shouldn't have taken you back.
Of course, you go back and forth until you just can't go back anymore.
Right.
You have to, because at the end of the day, you have to. It has to be on your own time. You go until you come to the point that we saw Marnie come to when she just had enough and she just couldn't do it.
I mean, first of all, for him to, she obviously doesn't know much about him, which is why when they're sitting there and they're reminiscing on how they met, here she is, they flash back to college, and she's got bangs and is like such the
And her hair's
square
dark.
girl.
Yeah.
And she happened to eat a pop brownie with a Jell-O shot on top of it. And she's just like totally scared. You know, Hannah's off making out with her gay boyfriend. And the funny part is he like fixes her bangs.
Yes.
He's like, "Oh, honey,
He
you'll
was
be
fine. He
You're
was even gay
fine.
back then. He was
Yes.
very flamboyant back
But
then.
you know, then we find out he's the one that introduced
Yeah.
Charlie and Marnie.
He's like, "Here, come and talk to her. Make her feel okay." And she's like, "I'm scared." And
can you hug me?
But it was funnier when he said, I'm going to go do my girlfriend.
Yes. Yeah.
Because we know.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, come on.
he didn't want to admit that.
I think it was a savior thing. I think she fell for Charlie in that moment because he kind of rescued her. He took
Right.
care of her. So, knight in shining armor kind of thing.
Right. And he, you know, he obviously has that personality where he's just going to do whatever she says to make her happy. And, you know, honestly, what girl doesn't like
But
that?
he seemed cooler back then. He looked like he had a little bit more swagger at that
Well, he had
point.
a band that he, you know, I think that was, you know, he was kind of a little bit more into because he probably had a little bit more time for it because his time wasn't all about her. So he probably was a little bit cooler back then.
Yeah.
But then, you know, when you get into a relationship, one side of the relationship usually suffers because somebody, you know, you
Gives
have
a
to
little
put
too much
somebody
more than the
always has
other.
to give a little bit. It's unfortunate, but that's usually what happens when
50-50 people, 50-50.
But it also shows his naiveness as well because he's not obviously in tune with his relationship, or he
No.
would see that his girlfriend doesn't really like him.
Right. Well, he was starting to see that, but again, Hannah kind of forced the hand on both sides to just own up to it, is what really, what happened.
And Charlie fell for Marnie's thing at the end. I mean, the way I kept seeing it was, the whole episode was a lot about like power, like Jess's thing, like, yeah, you want to have sex with me, and then Hannah's thing with Adam, and then at the end, Marnie, he's like, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I love you, and she's like, I'm not interested anymore.
Right,
Kind of
exactly.
like the little kid with the ball. It's like he wants it until you hand it to him. And
Exactly.
Then it's just
Well, I can see why she became disinterested. Now they're in the middle of having sex, and she's actually into it for the first time that they've ever had sex that we've seen.
Right.
She's into it because now it's like, all right, I need to get you back kind of a
Right,
thing.
right.
But his conversation
needy
during
sex.
it was
Yeah.
very needy. It was very like, oh my God, my childhood and my father, and stay close to my face. And
But it
you're
sounds like he's telling her this information for the first time, though.
it's the first time she's hearing it, though.
Right, because he was like, remember my dad, remember this, remember that. And it's the first time
I'm
she's
sorry.
actually listening.
If your penis is inside of me, I don't want to hear about your family.
Exactly.
I don't know.
It's not the right
To
time.
talk about anything.
It's not the right time for
so
that.
many revelations about things I've been doing wrong.
It's not the right time.
Having sex, all of a sudden just go, hey, the
inappropriate.
family reunion's tomorrow.
That is not the
Maya
right
don't
time
like
to talk
you.
about abandonment issues
No.
when,
And I
it's
think
not.
for her
Well, when
being the
is, Kelly?
strong woman
When?
that she is, she's like, oh, this is too much and too young for me.
But even when she like backs up and is like, I can't, she hits her head, and then he's like, I'm here, I'm right here. I probably would have strangled him.
I would have pushed him down
would
and
have like
That's that weird
you're here
punctuation
and
point.
I'm no.
it's like
He
it's
felt
too
weak.
much.
He felt very weak while they were not having passionate sex, but it felt very just going through the motions. And I too thought that she was finally more into it. But if all he needed to do was just slap her, if he would have just slapped her around a little, she would have been right back in his arms.
Even him standing up for himself felt kind of wussy. Like, I was like, oh man, this guy finally, he nutted up. And then it's just like, God, dude, like you couldn't take the diary yourself and read it. Like you had to have Hannah like bring her into it so you could just defeat her. And then when she comes over, he doesn't really try and lead her on. Like he doesn't try and kick her out or anything. He has her just kind of sit there like and just yell
And
at
then
her.
they reminisce.
And then she knows what she's doing. She knows he's a pushover.
He's a little bit of a mangina.
He's kind of a bitch. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Kind of a bitch.
Hannah didn't do anything wrong not even writing about her friend. You write about the things that are closest to you. Both of them have best friends that are obsessed with them.
They do.
Charlie and Marnie both have friends that are kind of consumed with them.
Yeah, they do.
Although I like Ray. That's just personal.
Ray has got
An
issues.
asshole, but he's hilarious.
I like Ray. No, because-
assholes usually are.
The best line of this episode for me was just like, I would not hate fuck you. Because it's like, and I will say, I have had that conversation with friends where it's like, no, I would not hate fuck your girlfriend. That's how much I dislike what she has done to you. And by the way, that is more comforting to guys than you think it is.
Nice.
Well, it's
That's the only way we can communicate.
It's a sign that you're
Got
that he has his back.
Absolutely. And she's like, what are you in love with him? And he's like, apparently more than you are.
And I don't think he meant that though in a
No,
gay way.
no,
I think
not
he
at
meant it as
all.
in, like a homie lover kind of way.
That
yeah.
I care about his feelings more than you do.
Homies,
You know.
I mean, like I got my boy's back. I love my boy kind of thing.
But did
Oh, he
he
does.
really care so much about his feelings to let him put it in song in public the way that he did?
Well, it was probably his idea because he's, because at first he didn't want him to read it, remember?
True.
So it was probably Charlie's
did the
idea
worst
to
job
do
making
that.
him not read it though.
Yeah.
He was just like, I don't want you to read it. And just like held it close. He didn't just like subtly put it down. He was just like, no, you can't. And then started running with it. He's like, dude, of course he's gonna read it.
Right. Yeah.
He's going to get it from
But
you.
he kind of wanted him to anyway. He's a jerk, so it kind of amused and
My kinda
tickled
jerk.
him.
Yeah.
But he also had this little, I want to protect you, but nah, not really. This is
Yeah.
more funny if I give it
This
to
will
you.
be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know, the thing that gets me about Charlie and Marnie's dynamic is, and this happens very often, and this is why the show is so relatable, is the fact that instead of saying like, I'm in love with you, I want to stay with you, he's like, I decided to be with you.
Right.
And she pretty much, in her, without saying it, I settled to be with you. And
Right.
unfortunately, in a lot of relationships and dynamics, and I know we've all experienced this, your guy decides, like, I want to be with you. I trust you. I respect you. You're clean. You're educated. You're this. You're that.
Clean.
I can stand to be around you for
don't
this
have
amount of
lights.
hours at a time.
I can sit in silence with you and have that Pulp Fiction moment.
That is important.
That is important.
And so he decides on her. He's not going by anything of emotion or feeling. It's pretty much well, this is the most logical thing to do.
Right.
And she, of course, in turn, is settling for this whole situation. And it really made me proud, even though, unfortunately, she had to say it in sack. She's like, yeah, no, I want to break up. She had that realization, like, you know what?
While he was in her, by
There's
the way.
no passion in logic.
I mean, a lot happens when you're that intimate with each other. But we
Well,
want to
like, right
know.
then.
We want to know too. Like, you know, what does everyone else think? You know, get in the conversation. Join us. You know, you can download our podcast on iTunes. Please leave a comment. Rate us. Let us know what you think. You know, let us know how you feel about the whole watching the masturbation scene. Tell me if you agree with me. If you
all
agree
know
with
it's
the
hot.
girls, I don't know. I mean, I can understand the hotness, but whatever. Let's talk about it. So please make sure to go to iTunes and download AfterBuzz TV and let us know what you think. So we got to get into the whole Shoshana, like in the closet, watching this whole hot sex. You know, now that that whole sex scene, that was a hot sex scene.
That really was. Now, of course, Jessa is crashing with Shoshana, and there's no knock at the door. Is Shoshana home? Like, nothing. She just goes straight in.
What else are you going to do?
But she didn't even
Does she
care
seem like
if
the knocking
Shoshana was
type,
home
really?
or not.
No,
At this point?
she's not.
No.
But poor Shoshana's not like, oh, hey, guys, I'm here. She's like, taboo, hide in the closet.
But she
Because she didn't want to mess up the moment.
so she goes in the closet, but then she kind of peeks out.
Watch
And then
the
all of a
entire
sudden she
time.
watches the whole thing.
Now that only lasted about 10 seconds. Like
Right.
really 10
That was
seconds.
Yeah.
when it's that vigorous.
I'm
Yes.
sorry.
It was like a pump. Like it was
No.
just
He was
really
backed
quick.
up like, oh hell.
It was.
It
I'm
was
sorry.
He was back.
I
well,
wanna
it
do
was
it-
like on the
Sometimes
bed,
it
out
happens.
the window. It was a little bit longer than 10 seconds.
The neighbors are outside going, wow,
Really?
that is.
They're like, let's enjoy the sunshine.
Right. She needed
I'm
fresh
taking my
air.
kids out for a walk.
She needed some oxygen.
I'm sorry. That was the hottest scene tonight.
That
window
that was
thing.
a very
I
hot
was like-
scene.
Miriam likes window things now going on outdoors.
You can peek into my window. I'll just peek outside of yours.
I gotta try that.
And no, it was really hot. And
It was
so,
hot.
you know, I think this too with Shoshana being a virgin, not knowing, she's like, how is it done?
That's her exposure.
Yeah,
to it,
I
though.
think so.
She was learning. She was
How
taking
is
notes.
it done? And you know,
mental
that's
notes.
a great note to take. Honey, doing it pressed against looking outside the window is fabulous.
Great
You
lesson.
know.
Don't worry, it doesn't take long.
You know,
What was the
Your
word?
mistake is
Unfortunately.
short-lived.
I'm unsmoutable. That is the lesson that she taught her. I'm unsmoutable. Do you guys know?
We have to-
Unsmotable.
Unsmotable.
I guess it just kind of means you
What
can't
the
mess with
heck?
my you can't mess with my shit. You can't
Yeah, that's
stop
why you
me
broke it
from.
down to me, Kelly.
that's what I.
That's a
That's
new
what I think. I
word
think
for
it's
me.
kind of like he told her we're
Smoke.
not having sex, and she's like bullshit. And then next thing you know, they're out the window doing it, and then he tries to kiss her, and she's like, "Oh yeah, what about Gilliana or whatever her name was?"
I
bring him back.
admire-
She owned it.
to bring him
Yes.
back to reality. That was like, I got you because I know that I could. I just needed to prove that
She stroked her ego.
because I needed to just pat myself on the back a little.
I admire women like this, and I know a few. And when I hear these stories, I'm like, girl, you just get her done. Make it happen, because the bottom
Larry,
line
the cable
is,
guy?
kinda. No, I don't know.
That,
Larry
that's
the-
hot, really?
No.
The gist
Like
of
Deliverance.
it's the fact that when you are a woman, especially in your 20s, and you're being, pardon my language, dicked around by these guys who leave you waiting by the phone, who never text you when you text them back, who expect you to go above and beyond, but they don't do the extra mile for you. There are the Jessas in this world who are like, you know what? This is for all my ladies who are
Yeah.
vulnerable. I'm going to take your ass and make it mine. and
Because there is no
make
reason.
you cry when you leave.
Why would he?
Do the wave. Let's start the wave for that.
Why? Like,
No way,
why?
It's not my first wave
No,
today.
but
Calm
seriously,
seas, calm
why
seas.
why
No,
would
none
he
of that.
have called her if he was so happy in his relationship? There's no reason to
No.
see an ex-girlfriend if you are about to move in with your girlfriend and you're happy. I hate when guys say that. Then why are you calling me? There's no reason.
Let
we're
it
not
out,
we're
girl.
not
Let it
friends.
out. Let it out,
Well,
Kelly.
you know, we're not friends. You know, if you're so happy in your life, and that's exactly what she told him. Really, are you
Right.
really?
Let's test this
You know, and
theory
they
of
went back.
happiness.
They went back and forth for a second, and I so related to that moment
'Cause he
because it's
wanted
like
some
really,
too.
I
and
think
she
there's
looks at
something I
him
can
and it's like
understand in
really,
that, though. I mean,
you know?
I've definitely had friends who've done this. I mean, I think I've probably done it once where after you're done with someone, like you do actually want that moment where you can see them one more time. You may not like ask them, but you want to see them at like the grocery store selling and just be like, I'm glad I'm done with that. Like,
Right.
I mean, maybe that was him trying to say he was over. I'm guessing not, but at the same time, it could have been that thing where he was just like, I want to prove I can go see her without having sex with her. And he failed miserably.
Yeah, I think everybody wants their ex to just want them just a little bit. Just,
Oh,
you know,
You want
I
your
still
ex to
got
get
it.
you want your ex to get fat the next time you see them.
Well, and not only that, he dumped her, so she had this time where he went to kiss her and she backed away because it's like,
This whole episode was
so
power
Samantha.
plays.
Oh,
Julia Roberts taught
I
us no
loved
kissing.
it. I loved that part. It was great. It was great.
This whole episode was power plays. I mean,
was.
except for Shoshana, every single girl had a moment right at the end of their story where they were firmly in control. With her, it was the kiss. With Marnie, it's like, I'm done with this. And with Hannah, it was her being propositioned to step on Adam's balls.
She's like, yeah.
I'm gonna bring that back as many times as I
I
can.
love that she was like, I want cab money. Like, I think
Yeah.
that she started
And she
thinking.
took 100.
Yeah.
It maybe just be the inner poor kid in me, but I was just like, no, that would have pulled me.
Inner poor kid.
It's like, whoop, no, it's like erection is gone. No, I have no. It's like, why did you just leave your wallet with 100 sitting around, dude? No, you need that money. You're poor.
Oh, she deserves
His
this.
grandmother gives it
Douchey
to
as he
him.
is.
I know. Well, hold on. Let's take a quick commercial break, and then we'll come back. We'll tie it up, and we'll do predictions and get into what we think is going to happen on the next episode.
Yes.
Hey everybody, John Comerford here. I've got my Mad Men with me.
Kevin Undergaro.
Phil Svitek.
For all you fans of Mad Men, we're your AfterBuzz TV hosts of Mad Men. Every Sunday, right after the show, 9:30, we're breaking down the episode.
You can also check us out on iTunes and YouTube the following morning.
We're going to get into the imagery, the symbolism, the structure. We give you all the information on Mad Men that the other podcasts out there don't.
Very insightful. You're gonna love it. Check us out.
Please.
Hello, everybody. We are the LA Complex crew, and we are here with Andre Fuller from the LA Complex, who plays Caldrick King. And you can catch LA Complex every Tuesday night on the CW at 9 o'clock. After that, come to our AfterBuzz TV show, where we do a recap of the LA Complex. We talk about Raquel, we talk about sex tapes, we talk about, relationships, and you can catch us live at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, AfterBuzzTV.com. If you can't catch us live, go ahead and swing over to YouTube the next day. You can rate, you can comment, watch us. iTunes, same thing. Download, rate, comment, and we would love to hear your feedback, and we love to support guys. So please, please, please support us and support the LA Complex. Buzz you later.
Guys, this is the AfterBuzz TV crew for The Real Housewives of New Jersey. Woo! Don't forget to tune in every Monday night at 8 p.m. to see
Adrienne Barrow,
Deanna Vaughn,
Susan Hahn,
Giselle Ugardi.
Buzz you later!
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
Oh, yeah. We're just talking about porn videos.
Do you like porn? Totally porn tonight.
Start your own yes or no. Let us know on iTunes what you guys think at home.
So, because Charlie, admitted that he watches porn. As if your boyfriend tells you he doesn't watch porn, he's lying.
Right.
Liar.
That's like saying he doesn't masturbate. Come on
Exactly.
now. Yeah, right.
All right, so let's get into this. So, Andrew joined our show. We got into a little Twitter debate about why, we like girls and why you didn't.
I do not, no.
Tell us why.
And
Let's get
this
into
is my
this.
first podcast, and it's for girls.
But
Because I'm waiting for Game of Thrones and Mad Men to DVR so I can watch them uninterrupted. That is it, pretty much. You have seen my weekly schedule.
Okay, come on. What is it when you first started watching? Because you've watched all 5 episodes. So
I've watched,
something
yeah.
has kept you watching besides me taunting you on Twitter about it.
It's mostly
so.
that. I think there's a part of me that's like, this could get better, it could get better. And it's just, no, it's not. And I think for me, the thing that just angers me the most, if there is one thing to go at, it's that so many of the girls remind me of girls I have either dated or known who piss the hell out of me. And it's literally,
this is relatable to you.
It is relatable to things I hate. And it's like,
but it's still relatable.
Exactly. Yes.
I'm giving you the win there. However, that's not something that I should want to watch.
No.
And it's like,
but the best shows are the ones that you can that can like refresh your memory or take you back in time, or that you understand.
But like there's shows that you watch though where it can make you angry, but it should make you equally parts happy. Like there's shows that I watch. True. There's shows that I watch where there are characters I hate, but I watch because I know that the characters I love will just destroy them eventually.
Right.
Like this show, it's like when Charlie stood up, I was like, thank you. Finally, somebody called Marnie on being a bitch, and she is. And it's like, I mean, it definitely brings up a lot of that. And generally, I think that there's like things I watch where I think earlier we were talking about the relatability of just like 25-year-old girl humor. I mean, maybe someday I'll grow to be one, but I really don't see that. And it's just like there's problems like I don't get it. And what is it? Like
you don't get what?
I don't get some of the problems they're having here. They're just because that is not me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a 25-year-old guy living in California. I can understand like age problems, but I can't understand like their specific problems. And sometimes like the way they get pissed off about certain stuff is like it makes no logical sense to me. Like what is it? The abortion clinic episode. They're just sitting in the clinic. She's pissed off that she didn't show up to the abortion. Like every girl that I know would have either left or would have been on the phone just flipping a shit, not just angrily sitting there going, can't believe she didn't show up. Just makes me so mad.
Do you think that for the male audience for this, because, I mean, obviously it's kept you watching for the last 5 episodes, and I'm sure you will continue to watch. Do you feel like this is a little insider for men of this generation to, hey, pay attention, because this is the things that really happen, and these are what these girls are talking about us, and this is how to handle it, and how not to be like Charlie?
I think that this is for girls, at least the way I'm seeing it. Like, I think that there's probably a little more truth to this than there are for, like, guy comedies. But it's, like, I think it's true in the same way that, like, The Hangover is, like, what girls see guys doing. Like, there's a lot of, like, glaring things they say. It's like, this is what all guys do. No, they friggin' don't. Some of us go to Vegas, gamble the entire time. I'm sorry.
Right.
I don't get roofied by my brother-in-law. Like...
You're saying
Craig, if you're listening, do not get
represent
ideas.
all of the women in America, which I agree with that. I think that some of the stuff that's going on, though, as far as the relationships or the low self-esteem moments, all of those are kind of to be, I think, mirrors to show us sometimes how dumb we can really be when we're just being nothing but girls.
It's understandable, but also like some of those relationship things. I mean, maybe it's just me where I grew up and what I've seen, but like. What I've seen. I sound like a numpet. Maybe it's what I've seen, but I feel like some of those relationship problems, it feels very high school to me. Like the abusive relationships, like it's like, why are you staying with this guy? You feel like you would have moved a little bit beyond this. I mean, maybe Hannah's like a late bloomer and that's her kind of thing. Like she never got over that. But I feel like already by the time you've gone out of college, like there's so many people I know who like they've gotten beyond that. Like maybe even
Really? I feel like we as women go through that all the time. You go through that with your husband sometimes. Like I think that people go through it is very, their issues are very immature, don't get me wrong. Yeah. Because they are young. But I think that in the grand scheme of things, if you take it more generally, we all can relate to it. Just from the he's nice, he's mean. He's nice, he's mean. So then you beg for those moments of niceness. Yeah. And then finally you realize you don't freaking deserve me. And I think Hannah's going to get to that point. Yeah. But I think that's something that we all relate to. Even men. Men and women both can relate to that.
Maybe with Hannah, though, I think it's the fact that it feels so new to her or something. Like it could be the obliviousness thing that I talked about. That like every experience, he's like, oh, this is new. It's like, no, like I feel like a Hannah type would have experienced that by some point. Like some abusive guy when she was having her low self-esteem moment in high school. I'm sorry, like, we all know those guys who back in high school were that kind of dick, like the Adam kind of guy, who were frighteningly cocky despite how they looked. And, sorry, that dude is... Yeah.
No, thank you for that.
Does anyone look at that guy and just go, well, Kim, like...
There is something sexy about him, though.
There's very few guys on this, like...
His abs, that's it. He's not, like, I don't know.
Although, and also, this is just one little nitpicky thing from an episode before. The dude from the Lonely Island who told Marnie that he wanted to fuck her.
Yes.
Really? that guy, like,
Okay.
that is no. It's like I was
Wait,
just like,
okay,
no,
wait.
no.
I know. He's not like your average like hottie, but the way he carried
confidence?
himself,
Yeah,
it was
is that just
confidence.
it?
Confidence goes a
everything.
long way.
You
Even
can be
for
the
ducks.
ugliest
Even for girls.
You can
But
be
would-
the ugliest guy and have the smallest penis, but if you exude confidence, you are
That
getting
goes
laid.
along. So with that being said, let's get into our predictions. Unfortunately, we are out of time. So let's think about what's gonna go, what's gonna happen next. We could talk about this forever.
Yes.
So what do we think? Do we think that that Marnie's really gonna be set with her breakup, or what do you think?
I think that Marnie, yes, is going to be set with the breakup. I think now she's going to explore her options as far as pursuing the artist guy or whomever, who's going to be a little bit more stimulating and more dominant, wearing the man pants, so to speak.
The man girl pants.
Yeah. Well, no, she doesn't want a guy who wears man girl pants.
Oh,
and
I
so
have
I think that Marnie's going to really start to explore her options now that she's like, okay, it's time to move on, as you had said. Now, as far as Hannah's concerned, that's a head scratcher.
Some more awkward sex.
There's going to be
Gonna see some Lena Dunham boob.
Is that what you think? Is that what you're ready to see more of?
We
What do you think?
have fulfilled our quota of Lena Dunham boobs. That's. I'm saying it now. Can we please just put an end to that? We need to like even it out with the rest of the cast. We almost saw a little bit of Shoshana, although that was the most awkward cunnilingus scene ever.
Well, you know who Shoshana is going to hook up with?
Hopefully
Who
everyone.
on the show would she possibly hook up with? Charlie.
Of course.
They perfectly
That would
match.
be-
That's good.
That would be the most
virginity to
nitpicky
Charlie.
sex ever.
That
Yeah.
would be perfect.
And then Jess is going to not know that she's messing with him and accidentally sleep with Charlie. Shoshana's going to get mad because Jess has slept with him. And she's going to be like, oh, I didn't know you were sleeping with him. And then she's not really going to care because she's Jessa. And
Yeah, I don't even
then-
see any accidentally. She'd be like, oh, I slept with him. I thought it was cool.
Right, and Shoshana's heart's going to be broken. Watch.
I'm curious to see. I think Hannah's gonna go back and get her job back because she's gonna figure out she needs to pay her bills.
Yeah, I see that also.
So we'll see what happens. Thanks, you guys, for watching. And don't, again, please be sure to download us on iTunes. You can catch us on YouTube. And please comment, rate us, and let us know what you think. We'll see you next time. And you can catch me on Twitter at Kellie079 and you at
Andrew Gutin.
Miriam Gonzalez.
And tweet at me or play with my Twitter at spicy_Mari, SPICY_MARI.
And you can always tweet AfterBuzz at AfterBuzz TV.
Play with that Twitter.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.